Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome back to the Dice Tower Library as we go shelf by shelf through the Dice Tower Library talking about the games on them. We're now in shelf 3. This is shelf 3A. Shelf 3 has a lot of heavier style games on it, although we're not going to start with them, but that's just a lot where they tend to be. We're still in the big square boxes. So we start with Forbidden Sky. Forbidden Sky is the third in the trilogy of Forbidden Island and Forbidden Desert, and it's easily the worst in the trilogy. This is the last time you're going to see it here. This is likely coming out of the library. I don't like it. Almost anyone who ever pulls out a Dice Tower Library looks at it and tries to play it or puts it back. It's just not a very good game. Elysium, I have it in the library for completion's sake, but I don't think that's a good enough reason. Elysium is a cool game, one that you might not have played from Space Cowboys, with a neat mechanism of placing down different colors, and depending on what you place, you get to take different cards and put them in front of you, and you have to decide when to send them to Elysium for point scoring or when to use them for their special abilities. Just a nice mechanism-driven game, not a strong theme, but I like it a lot. Victorian Masterminds is a lighter game from CMON, actually, with a lot of plastic miniatures, kind of unnecessarily overproduced. But I like the concept of it as you send out your masterminds to take control of different areas. I love Airlines Europe. What a great game. This has been out now for over a decade, and it is it's a redone version. It was originally called Pacific Railroads, a train game. They redid it with the airplane theme. This is Alan Moon's, it might be his best game. I know Ticket to Ride is the one everyone talks about, but I really like Airlines Europe. Madeira, this is a heavier style game. In fact, I believe it was just pulled out here in the local game group, and they were looking at it and playing it. It's a little, I'm not a huge fan of this one. It's a little too complex for me. I guess complex is a strong word. Not complex, maybe a little heady in how it plays, but that's kind of what your game is known for. Then we jump over here into the Eggert Spiel games, and these are the Eggert Spiel games that were around from under the Plan B era. So we have Coimbra and Alma Mater. Now Coimbra is clearly the better one of the two. I like them both. Coimbra, though, with a dice drafting system where the color and the number both really matter. I really like it. It's a great game with a good visual appeal. Alma Mater, also good visual appeal. In this one where you're building a library or a kind of a university and getting teachers and students, and it has these really cool book components. It's a tight, tough game, and I think, again, if between the two of them, I'm going to pick Coimbra over Alma Mater, but I still think Alma Mater is good. Pipeline is a game that I highly enjoy. It is a deep economic game that also features connecting little pipes and connections. So it has a weird Venn diagram of making connections and economics, but I fit in that diagram. So this one, and I've upgraded this one with cool little pipe pieces, really nice. Or little barrel pieces, not pipe pieces. Barony. This one here is one of the weaker games on this show for sure. Also, it's a nice shiny one here. Barony is a kind of an area control but very deterministic style game from Madigo. There's some good aspects to it, but I don't know if it's going to be here long because not a lot of people want to play it. We then move to a very popular game here. It's A Wonderful World. It's A Wonderful World, a tableau building game, cards. I love the theming of it, a slightly dystopian future. And your cards, depending on the order you build them in, give you resources for other cards. Solid game, very popular. Then we have one of Uwe Rosenberg's games. Now later on, we're going to take a look at an Uwe Rosenberg shelf. This is not on that shelf because it's a different size than the other ones. It's also one of his lesser popular games. This one here based in Iceland. It's a simpler game. It's kind of a move down a track as fast as you can, producing resources. And it's a smaller game. Not just that it's 30 to 60 minutes, but I don't think the strategic depth is as much in this one. But it's still a pretty solid game. We then move to Gùgōng. Now, Gùgōng here is from Game Brewer Games. In fact, we see a couple Game Brewer games here. Gùgōng, a game where you give gifts and switch one card for another card. It's a solid style game, very popular. This one has been growing as time has gone by, and I fully expect to see this one played many years in the future. A lot of neat ideas, a lot of different ways to victory. Paris is possibly the newest game on this shelf. This is a Kramer and Kiesling co-design, and I really think this one's a neat idea. It has some mechanisms I like. Move as far down a bonus track as you want, but you can never go back. There's an area control. It's just really, it has the feelings of a classic game. Flatline, which I don't know how long this is going to stay on the shelf, mostly because it drives me nuts how this box isn't the same size here. But this is a speed dice game, and I really like it for that purpose. It's just a fast roll dice, and you're cooperatively working together to help people who are, well, flatlining. And then On the Underground, an amazingly fun game where there's a lazy passenger and everyone's competing to get that passenger to take their subway lines, best with 2 or 3 players. This is the reprinted version of it, and it is gorgeous. Ludi Creations, this is their nicest looking game that they've done. And that's kind of a, contender for my game of this shelf, but I think when it comes down to it, as much as I love that one, Airlines Europe is my favorite one there. What's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. But either way, that's another shelf in the Dice Tower collection. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.